Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is December 8th. Yesterday was the 7th, and tomorrow will be the 9th. You have us for 3 days in a row.
Yay!
Ananda. Okay, today's lesson is an article with some questions. Nothing's free. It's called New Zealand, an Apocalypse Survival Destination.
我们的中文标题是全球社会若崩解，纽西兰最适合生存。
Now I'll read through the article first, of course, and then we go back and sentence by sentence reread them and explain them, both in English and in Chinese. Ask any doomsday prepper what their reason for living is, and they'll tell you that it's making sure they're ready for the end of the world. For them, life as we know it is balanced precariously on a knife edge, and it won't take much for everything to fall into chaos. Whether this future apocalypse is brought on by climate change, nuclear warfare, or a massive solar flare, rendering all our technology useless, it presents a very real potential scenario that people generally only imagined happening in fictional Hollywood thrillers. But in the event of a real global cataclysm, is there any place on Earth that would be more suitable for human survival than others? The answer is yes, New Zealand. This island nation located in the southwestern Pacific Ocean is known for its low population density and is home to 6 times as many sheep as people. Neither of these qualities are what most people might consider appealing. However, researchers at Britain's Anglia Ruskin University see New Zealand in a different light. After assessing all countries for their land area per capita, distance from other population centers, and potential for renewable energy and agriculture, researchers chose New Zealand as the ideal place to ride out a global societal collapse. The results were published in the journal Sustainability and also list Iceland, Tasmania, and Ireland as possible destinations. New Zealand is a highly developed country with abundant energy resources and land available for agriculture. These features make it perfect for sustaining civilization. Its potential as a doomsday refuge is no surprise to the local Kiwis, who have long witnessed foreign billionaires buying up local land in order to build underground survival bunkers.
Okay, so you remember yesterday in the vocabulary test number 5, we were talking about the soaring cost of rent driving tenants away? Mm-hmm. That's precisely what's happening in New Zealand because of this exact phenomenon.
Ooh.
So, good, it's a good reputation to have if you are somebody who has property to sell. That's it.
好，昨天我们提到呢soaring 好，这个rental 这个 prices 就是飙高的租金。那其实纽西兰现在面临到这样的问题，因为有这样的一个报道出来，或者当然还有些其他原因了，使得他们的房地产的价格一直在这个飙涨之中。
So if you're a local New Zealander and you want to buy a house for your family,
good luck.
Getting hard now.
所以纽西兰当地人如果要买房子是现在越来越难了，因为这个房地产都飙高了。
So let's go to the beginning of the article. It starts by saying, ask any doomsday prepper what their reason for living is, and they'll tell you that it's making sure they're ready for the end of the world. What the heck is a doomsday prepper? This is a phenomenon that's started, I noticed it on the internet around 10 years ago-ish. Basically, they're people who are like, the end of the world is coming. I'm going to make my own personal survival possible. But what they never consider, what they often don't consider, is that when society collapses, there are no electricity services, there's no gas services, there is no hospitals, water supply. So they've got like tons and tons and tons of toilet paper. Yeah. And this is true. Like you go into like right now, it's fashionable to open up these doomsday prepper caches 10 years on to see what's good. And like there's tons of toilet paper, but they might not have a functioning toilet is the thing. So anyways, a doomsday prepper is someone who prepares for the doom of the world. And they're also incredibly unrealistic people.
好，所以这一开始 ask any 什么什么什么啊，那就是问任何一个，也就是随便问一个啊。这 doomsday prepper 啊，就是这个相信灾难或者这个战争要发生了，好，所以他们会学习技能或者囤积用品这样的一些准备者、有备者。那 doomsday 就是审判日、世界末日，哈 ，judgment day 哈，那就是 judgment 就 judgment 好，那 day judgment day 就 doomsday 啊。那所以他们都觉得审判日要来了，所以他们赶快准备，那就会囤积很多东西。像刚刚 Angela 讲说，有人的发现，他们像囤积呢，最大量囤积的，好像都很多人囤积了很多卫生纸，但他们没想到。如果世界末日的那一天呢，可能的下水道系统也没有了哈，这个可能厕所也没有了，那卫生纸不知道在干嘛啊？不过 anyway 就有这样的一些人，所以你问他们 their reason for living 啊 ，what their reason for living is， 你问他们你们活着的目的是什么？那 and they'll tell you， 他们就会问你啊，那他们就会告诉你啊 that 说什么呢 ？It's 他们的活着的目的是这样 making sure 他们要确保。They're ready for the end of the world. 他们已经准备好面临世界末日了。
For them, these doomsday preppers, life as we know it, the life that we live today in our cities around the world, is balanced precariously on a knife edge. Just imagine if you have a knife and you try to balance something on top of the edge of the knife. It's a very hard thing to do, and it won't take much for everything to fall into chaos. This is what the doomsday preppers think. If this were true, if life really were on the edge of a knife, chaos would rule. The opposite of chaos is living in law and order and regular schedules and having agreement with other people, even in other countries. The opposite of this is panic, disorder, or chaos.
好，所以 for them 就是对于这些人来讲 ，life as we know it 就是我们所知道的生活啊，也就是现在的生活 is balanced 啊，那 precariously on a knife edge 啊 ，knife edge 就是刀锋啊，那你说这东西它平衡在刀锋上面，那就是很不平衡，因为刀锋上很难平衡东西。所以这个状况是 precariously 的状况 ，precariously 它是不稳定的，或是很危险的。所以换句话说，我们所知道的生活呢，其实非常的不稳啊，就像放在刀锋上面一样。然后呢 ，and it won't take much for A to do something， 就是 A 如果要做成 B 这件事情的话 ，it won't take much 就不需要太多，也就是很容易的意思。好，所以因为我们的生活呢，就好像在刀锋上平衡一样，是吧？所以非常的不稳固。所以呢，如果说everything 要 fall into chaos， 要陷入这个混乱的话呢 ，it doesn't take much， 不需要太多，很容易，一切的事情就会 fall into chaos。fall into 就是陷入的意思 ，chaos 就是混乱。
So, regardless of whether this future apocalypse, this terrible thing is brought on, is created by climate change or nuclear warfare or a massive solar flare, rendering all our technology useless. I'm going to say the first two are definitely apocalyptic scenarios, but I can see that third scenario becoming actually a utopian scenario after a period of adjustment. But okay, all of these potentials present a very real potential scenario. So these are what would have been science fiction thoughts 20 years ago, but now we see the reality of them. We see how potential they are, how potentially they really could become real, these scenarios, that people generally only imagined happening in fictional Hollywood thrillers. So before, it was just movie themes that people were thinking about, but now we're like, oh, yeah, this could actually happen.
好，所以呢，他说 whether this future apocalypse 是大灾难的意思，也是圣经里描述的世界末日。所以这样的一个未来的这个世界末日，它不管它是 brought on 就是 caused to happen， 对不？它不管是由什么造成，不管是由底下讲的这个 climate change 由气候变迁造成，还是由 nuclear warfare 还是由这个核子战争所造成，或者是由一个 massive 一个规模很大的 solar flare 就是太阳闪焰来造成。那太阳闪焰呢，它指的是太阳表面它的这个磁力线呢突然断裂，就会释放出大量能量那就会产生一个巨大的爆发。那这个我记得以前看过科幻电影里面，好像它就会让所有的电子产品通通失灵所以现在其实有的人觉得太阳闪焰不见得是件坏事所以 anyway 所以不管是由这些东西造成那然后 render 在这里就是使得to cause to become， 让 all our technology 这些东西会让我们的就是这个尤其太阳闪焰还会让我们所有的科技变成 useless， 变成了无用的状态不管怎么样 it presents a very real potential scenario那这个it 就是指这样的一种这个世界末日的危机它呈现的是一个非常真实的 potential， 就是有潜力有可能会发生的 scenario， 就是一个可能发生的情况所以换句话说，这个是相当有可能发生的，不管讲气候变迁还是这个核子战争等等的那这样的一个 scenario， 这些状况呢 that people 人们是 generally 一般来讲 only imagined， 他只有想象过happening 发生在哪里呢？在 fictional， 在这个虚构的好莱坞的 thrillers 里面惊悚片里面。所以也就是说，这些呢，原来大家觉得这个只会发生在好莱坞的惊悚片，虚构的好莱坞惊悚片里面的事情呢，现在都有很可能是会非常真实的一个可能的场景。
But in the event of a real global cataclysm, this word cataclysm is similar to one word we had before, chaos. Is there any place on Earth, is there any place at all that would be more suitable for human survival than others, would be a better place for people to get through these very, very difficult conditions? And the answer is yes, of course, New Zealand, because that's what we're talking about today.
好，然后呢，但是呢 in the event of 就是在这样的情况下，就是所谓 in the event of 就是 in case of 的意思或者 if such a thing happens， 如果底下事情这样发生，什么事情发生呢？真实的 global cataclysm 就是一个巨变通常是这个政治上面军事上面或者社会上的一个很大的改变那可能会造成很大的这个伤害那也可能造成根本的改变就是巨变所以这样一个全球性的巨变发生的情况之下 is there 有没有 any place on earth 地球上有没有什么地方 that would be more suitable 会比较适合for human survival 对于人类生存来讲是比较适合的然后呢 then others 就是有没有地方是更适合的跟其他地方比起来有没有一些地方是更适合的
I just want to point out that some dude in 1957 already considered this problem and wrote a novel about it called On the Beach. And in that, he posited that there was a nuclear war. Australia was untouched. But everybody in Australia at the end of the book collectively suicided because they knew that the nuclear cloud was coming for them and they were going to die anyways. So they decided to die in advance. So I'm going to say human beings cannot live without each other.And we cannot go and hide from everybody else's problems or our own self-created problems in New Zealand because New Zealand is also on this planet. It is not immune.
Yeah, 所以刚刚那个问题的答案就是纽西兰，但是像这个 Angel 老师刚刚讲的，之前有人写过那个小说，那这个全世界都灭亡了，只有澳洲因为没有被核子弹炸到，所以澳洲人没事，但是后来澳洲人通通自杀了因为呢他们这个看到核子这个尘埃往他们这边来那他们也没有办法，而且呢就全世界只有澳洲还存在，他们也过得不太快乐。
So no, the answer is there is no safe place.
Yeah, 所以没有一个地方是安全的。
But anyways, New Zealand is still a very nice place to spend out the end of days, to spend your end of days. This island nation, located in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, it's known for its low population density. I imagine that is why it is so appealing to the doomsday preppers. And it is home to 6 times as many sheep as people. So if you like to wear wool and you like to eat meat that is sheep, you like to eat mutton, you're good.
好，所以呢 this island nation 就是一个岛国，那位于 located 在这个太平洋的西南部is known for 它以什么闻名呢 ？is known for 它的 low population density， 它的人口密度很低。然后呢 is home to 就是它那里有或者它也居住着什么东西呢？那 6 times as many sheep as people 那这个各位就记得，你如果讲说多少 times as many A as B， 就表示 A 是 B 的几倍所以是 6 times as many sheep 就是羊有6倍跟什么比起来呢 as B 就是那个人 people。
Neither of these qualities, the population density or the number of sheep, are what most people might consider appealing. Low population density is probably a draw, would attract people like these doomsday preppers. But what are you going to do with all these sheep? Most people don't know how to raise animals, so it doesn't seem as likely a paradise for people to wait till the end of the world comes.
好，所以 neither of these qualities 这两个这个低人口密度，然后很多羊这两个没有一个是 what most people might consider appealing appealing 就是吸引人的所以你说人口密度低，很多羊很多人可能不认为那是很吸引人的对我来讲，我觉得人口密度低是很棒的事情。
However, researchers at Britain's Anglia Ruskin University see New Zealand in a different light. So they see New Zealand as beneficial for different reasons.
那这个 light to see something in a different light， 这个 light 的意思是 a way of looking at something 或者 a way of considering a matter 其实就是一个 aspect 的意思ASPECT。 好，所以呢所以不管怎么说然而呢在英国的安格利亚这个鲁斯金大学里面的这些研究人员呢，他们看纽西兰是用一种不同的眼光，从不同的角度来看。
After assessing all countries for their land area per capita, distance from other population centers, and potential for renewable energy and agriculture, researchers who did this assessing chose New Zealand as the ideal place to ride out, to continue to live or to try to survive a global societal collapse, as we gave at least 3 examples before. If you assess things, then you evaluate, and you, after your research, then you make some sort of decision, and they used certain factors such as land area per capita, how many people were there. If it's extremely crowded, it would be very difficult to support a lot of people. Distance from other population centers. Your country may have a low population density, but the country next to you may have lots and lots and hundreds of millions of people. And potential for renewable energy and agriculture. Obviously, desert or ice-bound countries would not be ideal in this situation. So they took a look at what is available in the countries, and they decided, hey, New Zealand is the place.
好，这个 assessing 就是评估所以他们在评估 all countries 所有的国家for 就是以什么为标的来评估以他们的 land area 就是这个土地面积，然后呢是 per capita 就是人均的每个人的这是个统计学的名词，所以他们以人均土地面积每一个国家的人均土地面积来算。还有呢他们会列入评估的呢是 distance from other population centers， 其他的人口中心你自己可能人不多，但你旁边的国家人口如果很多，这也不好那还有一项标准是什么？potential 就是潜力
for renewable energy and agriculture 是再生能源和农业的潜力。这些条件都拿下去评估以后， researchers chose New Zealand as 研究人员把纽西兰选为 the ideal place 最理想的地方来 ride out a global societal collapse 这个 ride out 就是安然度过通常是个不可免的危险或者状况，那是 ride out 所以你可以在这个地方度过一个 global 全球性的 societal collapse。societal 跟 social 的不同是 societal 它通常指的是跟社会的结构、组织还有功能有关的，叫做 societal， 它是社会的所以在这里指的是社会结构、社会组织的崩解 collapse， 所以这里应该要用 societal。The
results were published in the journal Sustainability, which is apparently about how to be sustainable, and also lists Iceland, Tasmania, and Ireland as possible destinations. Tasmania and Iceland make sense. Ireland is right in the middle of things. Why?
所以这个结果呢被这个出版在这个 Sustainability 这个期刊里面，那它也列出了 list， 就是列出了爱尔兰塔斯马尼亚还有这个冰岛Iceland 其实是冰岛那刚刚在 Angela 讲爱尔兰其实是周围还蛮热闹的所以不知道为什么被选到不过 anyway 这三个还有加上纽西兰他们都是 possible destinations， 都是有可能的一些目的地去这个度过世界末日的目的地。
Along with New Zealand, all 4 of these places are islands, so that must have figured in very highly in their estimation of what was a good place to survive.
Also, though, if climate instability continues to happen, Ireland's going to turn into like a frozen island. So,
and Iceland is already frozen. I'm surprised it's on the list.
No, it's been warming up with global warming. But if the Atlantic stops circulating as people are worrying about, then Iceland's going to get cold. Or Ireland's going to get cold.
Yeah, colder. Okay, New Zealand is a highly developed country with abundant energy resources and land available for agriculture. We're now looking at some of these factors that perhaps these researchers thought about. Abundant energy resources. There's lots of water power in New Zealand, for example. And again, with so few people, there's plenty of land, good land for agriculture.
好，所以纽西兰是一个 highly developed 高度发展的国家还有 abundant 就是很丰富的 energy resources 能源的资源，还有土地是 available for agriculture 这个土地可以提供农业的使用。
These features make it perfect for sustaining civilization.
Yeah， 所以这些 features 特色让它是个完美的让它成为一个很完美的一个条件，有完美的条件 for 对什么来讲？对 sustaining 就是维持、持续文明来讲是完美的。
Do you know what's actually perfect for sustaining civilization, though?
Peace.
World peace. Thank you very much.
Yeah. 好，所以你要维持这个维护文明最重要的其实是世界和平。Yeah.
Its potential, New Zealand's potential as a doomsday refuge, is no surprise to the local Kiwis. Kiwi is a bird that is found only in New Zealand. It's a flightless bird. And the people who have long witnessed foreign billionaires buying up local land, they're not surprised that other people want to move to New Zealand at some time in the future in order to build underground survival bunkers. Again, they think that these preppers, doomsday preppers, believe that they will be able to live underground for a certain amount of time in a country when they can crawl out from their holes in the ground. There may still be land that can be used.
好，所以呢，这个地方讲到its potential 就是纽西兰的潜力作为一个 doomsday refuge 是一个庇护所就是一个 shelter shelter。那它的对于作为一个世界末日庇护所的潜力is no surprise to 对于谁来讲是没有毫不意外的？对谁来讲毫不意外呢？ It's no surprise to the local 当地的Kiwis 就是纽西兰人因为这原来指他们纽西兰特有的一种鸟类那这些人呢 have long 长久以来他们 witness 他们目睹目击了看到了 foreign 就是外国的这个亿万富豪billionaires buying up 就是大量的买进甚至有时候会买光了 local land 当地的土地 以便他们来建造 underground 地底下的 survival bunkers 生存的地堡bunkers 就是防御用的地下碉堡。
So we have some questions here for you. Number one of which is, which of the following is not listed as a scenario a doomsday prepper would prepare for? Which thing are we not preparing for? Obviously, the answer is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. 题目问的是以下哪一项没有被列为世界末日准备者会准备的情形呢？
The answer is B, changes in government power, because this is often a good thing.
Yeah, 答案是 B 这个政府权力的转变。
Number 2. According to the passage, why is New Zealand not usually appealing to people?
根据本文，为什么纽西兰通常对人们不具有吸引力呢？
Our answer is C. It's not very populous and has more sheep than people.
好，答案是 C， 那里人口不是很稠密，而且羊比人多。
Number 3. Which of the following statements is true about New Zealand?
下列哪一项关于纽西兰的叙述是正确的呢？
The answer is A. Its land is already being used for disaster preparation.
好，答案是 A， 它的土地已经被用于备灾了。
All right, that's it for today's lesson. We will be back again tomorrow, you lucky guys. Till then,
bye-bye.